What's going on, guys? This is Alex Scott.
Rob City here, baby.
Bobby Spang in the building.
All right, we're going to have some talk and get a chance to, we haven't really talked about a lot of wrestling lately. We've taken a little bit of a break, but some breaking news did come over the wire that we thought, well, we got to sit down, we got to talk about this. Mm-hmm. So, apparently, Raw is going to have 2 live shows on Christmas and New Year's Day.
Which means that the talent, two of the few days off that they usually get, are no longer there anymore.
Spend time with their families is no longer happening. They're doing a live show for the fans. What are your guys' thoughts on it?
Right off the bat, I just hope there's some strong incentive for the talent that will be in attendance and on TV that day. I just hope that Vince is somehow, I don't know, flying the whole family out for the weekend. I don't know, do something.
Yeah, you got to think there's got to be some added benefit to that. I mean,
I think it's just going to go along with the regular hours or not hours, but days that they're already working. They're just going to add another 2 days on there. The thing that's weird to me is this is definitely a money grab, right? A money or it's money motivated.
Yeah.
With that being said, the NBA owns Christmas. So what's the point of and a lot of your fans are both fans of the NBA and wrestling, or you're just going to lose a gigantic chunk of your normal audience by having this random show that isn't really necessary. I don't think it furthers anything. They already work damn near every week of the year.
There's also a football game that night too.
Exactly. So what's the point?
So I honestly think they're just trying to get ratings. They're trying to. It's not going to work because you're competing both against the NBA and the NFL that night. You've got the Raiders against the Eagles. Should be an entertaining game. And, I mean, the NBA, top to bottom, they've got a slate full of games the entire day. You're locking in.
It's all good matchups for the NBA.
There always is.
And you know what? To be honest, it's probably going to end up costing them more to pay for that slot because you're pulling, like, Elf and the Christmas Story off from USA at that hour. You know what I'm talking about?
Right.
Yeah, and and it's like, what would they run? They would just like take a week off, or they'd like run an old one, or they do a holiday special that they pre-recorded.
I'd rather them do that. If they have to come in an extra day and record a holiday special or something like that, which, not that I'm that into that anyways, but if that's what they wanted to do, I'd rather them do that than take the talent away from their families for another 2 days for no reason.
Here's what I think they should do. Go on like an episode, like after a post-show or a pre-show. Like say, okay, main event, whatever's going on before. Film it then, get it out the way, and then start the live Raw. Put it in the can.
See, this goes into our conversation of the possibility of the WWE having some type of off-season. And initially, my first thought, I know you're going to get your opinions in a bit, is that during this off-season, gimmicks could recharge, and now would be the ideal time to air your Mae Young Classics, your 205 Lives, whatever tournament you want to hold during that offseason, evaluate some new talent.
Right. And, that would be a better chance, for them to show whatever they wanted. Yeah, like you said, 205 Live would get more plug, whatever tournament. So, that makes a lot of sense. And on top of that, not only can you air some stuff that doesn't get as much shine, the guys that you've been, they've been working house shows. They work their 2 live events or their 2 live shows. They get some time off. Every single sport has an off season. I know that it is scripted, but they're still putting their bodies through, an athletic competition multiple times a week, and they don't get hardly any days off.
Honestly, I think this is what I think should happen. They should kind of focus it kind of like how like the NFL does it. Like it ends in in February, March with your big event. Again, WrestleMania would be the big showcase event. It ends and then it stops. And there'll be some off-season talk. There'll be a draft. There'll be a combine. See, here's the thing. You know what you could do? You could have a combine for NXT for the Performance Center and show that on the network. Yeah, do you think people are going to do that? Of course they would. Of course they would love it. You'd love to see a live shot in there, kind of like how they do it for the combine for the NFL in Indianapolis. You gotta think that they're going to do something with a draft. Potentially that they could draft talent to NXT. They could draft talent to NXT.
I like that.
Or they make or they make something else like another brand, or they start branching out to more things. And again, they rerun stuff.
Don't you think that also? I mean, we saw what happened when the New Day was out for a certain amount of time. I think Kofi was hurt at one point, and they kind of just put them on they shelved the whole gimmick, right? When they came back, it felt brand new. It felt fresh. And those guys are super over, but people kind of got not tired of them, but they were the same. They were on every week. They weren't involved in stuff that was important.
And I think the switch of shows help too, because once they move on to a new show, you get different matchups, you get different things that you can, branch off of what they come in with. They're all happy-go-lucky, having a good time. Then they go up against some hard guys like the Usos. It's a different storyline, something different that they haven't had.
But what I meant by bringing that whole thing up is, imagine what that would do for the rest of the roster. I mean, guys that you're tired of seeing, with that break, absence makes the heart grow fonder, right? So even guys that aren't as over as they should be, you'd be like, I miss Cesaro and Sheamus. I can't wait to watch them wrestle again. You know what I mean?
So let me ask you something. When would you put it? When would the offseason be? It'd probably be like a summer thing, yeah?
I'm saying right after WrestleMania, you take a month to 2 months off, and then we'll go right back into it. Plus, that makes your biggest show like a season finale, and it makes everything that happens up to that point and that show itself that much more special because they're gone after this big show.
And it just the whole thing doesn't start right. Okay, once WrestleMania is over, Raw. We're
tomorrow,
starting
the next day.
Okay, it's all new. We're starting right then.
Yeah, you know what it would also do is it would aid them from having to plan months and months ahead for storylines. It could give them a little break to start, refresh, and they wouldn't have to try to figure out how to weave in a heel turn for whoever in the story. They could just come back, new season, they're a bad guy all of a sudden, and then figure it out from there.
Or, that could just, or here's what I think too, they could limit the number of these B-show pay-per-views that they have.
Right.
Oh, for sure, cut those in half.
Because here's the thing: when they used to do it, they had just the big 4 pay-per-views. You had more time to let these storylines, breathe and develop. But sooner or later, just like, okay, we've got to get this all done by Great Balls of Fire. Okay, got to wrap it up. And it's just like, oh, great, this is done already. Mm-hmm. I don't feel satisfied.
Yeah.
What's the payoff?
Yeah.
There's no payoff.
You look at NXT and they have 6 to 7 pay-per-views a year, and they're killing it. Every pay-per-view show is like,
I think it's every big one. So they do it this way, where they have months to build.
They have 4 big ones.
4 big ones, 4 takeovers,
and they're killing it. Everyone is great.
And they have like maybe 1 or 2 smaller ones.
Like 6.
Yeah, 6. So that gives you more time to breathe out these storylines, see what happens. Okay, like watch the Gargano and Ciampa thing. That's going to play itself out. It was initially started at the Chicago TakeOver. Okay, Ciampa's injured. Gargano's back. Okay, he's going to eventually come back. It's going to be some payoff. It's going to be a long time coming, but it'll eventually work its way.
Yeah, and another thing, I mean, this is probably the most obvious thing. These injuries that are stacking up, a lot of them are due to fatigue. If you're working always and you're working past your breaking point, and these guys, guys and girls, they don't have any quit in them. They're not going to, ask for a day off or something like that. If they're working a full-time schedule, they're not going to have the time to let their bodies heal. I mean, even if you have a slight strain, if you keep going on that thing and it doesn't heal properly, you're one bad twist away from it being a 4 to 6 month operation.
And you think about it too, is that they get paid a pretty good amount, but that doesn't cover their travel, that doesn't cover their rental car, their hotel room, all that stuff. So they're driving and all this stuff. You got to get town to town, each of the things. So there's fatigue there. Heck, you be on the road sometimes and you don't see your family at all. It's just time to take that reprieve, take a break.
Yeah, definitely.
Both 24 documentaries that they released with Finn and Seth, they talked about how refreshing it was to finally be with their families. So in the sense the injuries helped them mentally. So I think if you're not going to have an off season, at least cut the house show appearances in half. Maybe stick to the 2 shows you do, a Monday and Tuesday, and 1 house show instead of doing back-to-back cities.
Yeah, I mean the main thing is, look, I know it's all money driven, and that's all well and good. But you got to take into account that you have now 3 rosters, really, but we're talking really more Raw and SmackDown.
Yes, exactly.
2 rosters full of guys and girls that don't get a lot of time off as it is. And if you're not going to relent on the amount of events that they work, then you have to give them at least a little bit of time off.
Yeah, something, a day off. I mean, let's be honest. If you all had a day, you all have a day off. It is refreshing. If you've been grinding and you just need that day. Okay, I need a couple of days for a mental reset.
Right.
I need to go do something where I'm not thinking about work. I'm not thinking about where I got to go to the next town or how we're going to do this or whatever you got to do. It's refreshing. Got to take a long, hard look at it. See, that could be a possible way down the future. Want to thank you again for watching our video. Be sure to follow us on all of our social media outlets right here.